Welcome to the first official Terra podcast. My name is Jason Michael. I'm the community director at NMAS Entertainment. I'm here in our new office, in our new sound booth, which is still being finished out. So with me is Brian Knox, our
Hello.
Senior producer.
Well, I was going to introduce myself, but you kind of stole my thunder.
Why-
So let me redo that.
Yeah.
I'm Brian Knox, senior producer at NMAS Entertainment. How's that for a radio voice?
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah, mine's a little high pitched and nasally.
Yeah.
So yeah, too nasally. So yeah, there's not really going to be too much of a structure to this. I'm not just going to read off
Really?
market.
Yeah, I was going to say, because according to your sheet here, I have a lot of points I need to hit.
That's right. we have a general guideline, but it's not going to be all marketing messages. So I've been here like almost exactly a year to the day.
Really? Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, and it's been a great year.
I guess we should get you a card or something. Or
No, that's all right. No, I thought I'd take off maybe 5 minutes early today to celebrate. Too much work to do.
Yeah.
So, and you've been here. You joined the company a little before, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Back in November 2009.
cool. Okay, so even before it was NMAS.
Right.
Nice. All right. Well,
Yeah, not to take credit, but I will take credit because I was the one that suggested the name NMAS. So
right.
yeah, it was
and
me.
it's beautiful. And did you suggest the NMAS pronunciation instead of en masse?
Actually, that wasn't decided initially. It took some time to kind of go back and forth, see what people were saying, how we were saying it. In the end, we went with en masse just because it made more sense to us, as a North American audience right now.
Yeah, totally. And it is, for our listeners out there who may be actually hearing this for the very first time, it is pronounced en masse and not en masse. So there you go. The more you know. So like in the last that's our PSA. In the last year, we've been doing like a lot here. We had Focus Group Test 2 right after I came on.
Which came right after Focus Group Test 1.
Yeah, that's right, which was right before I came on.
Yes.
So I managed to miss Focus Group Test 1, but yeah, Focus Group Test 2 was a lot of fun, and it's been like a year since we've had an event. Mm-hmm. So we've got a lot of
We've
feedback.
had events. They just haven't been under the Focus Group Test
right
nomenclature.
And
did I pronounce that right?
Yes, you did. And our next event is not under the Focus Group Test nomenclature either.
Correct.
It's a community play event. So we're going to give our community members a chance to experience
Which isn't to
that.
say we're not collecting feedback, but we just wanted to really make that statement that we're moving on with the game, that we're getting closer to launch, that we're getting, to that kind of final polish stage because we've gathered so much feedback over the past year. So we'll still be listening. It's an ongoing product, for the entire life cycle, but at the same time, calling it a focus group test to us wasn't as genuine maybe as, calling it a community event. Especially, this is going to be the Korean version that they have up right now. So it's kind of cool so our players can see where it's at in Korea, see where it goes. And then, as we move into further beta testing, you'll start seeing our westernized version here as well.
Cool. Yeah, it should be a lot of fun, and we're taking all the former focus group testers, or rather current focus group testers, plus some other people from the community. Yeah. So it should be a good time.
Should be like a community event.
I know, and the nomenclature is correct.
Yes.
So yeah, and there's no NDA on this, so screenshots will be all over the internets.
Yeah.
I expect to see a lot of YouTube videos out there, right?
That's right.
So good.
Everyone's saying first as they hit each level. And
yeah. We should award prizes for people who do that.
Yeah. It's like we should have like a community director coming up with community contests.
I know. Hey, I'm actually going to write this down because that's a really good idea for a community contest. All right. I'll just keep taking notes as we go and come up with good ideas.
Yeah.
We should have more of these brainstorming podcasts.
Yeah. More of me doing your job.
Yeah, sure. Exactly. There you go. So, so that's not the only thing we've got coming up because you guys are flying out like this weekend to go to GDC, right?
Yeah, I got lucky, and because I got a wife and kid at home, I get to fly out a little bit later. But
okay.
Yeah, we'll be at GDC all next week setting up, and we got a room on the show floor where we're going to be giving demos to a whole bunch of different media. So it should be pretty exciting. You guys will see all the different stories and articles and assets that are going to come out of there. It should be a fun week for us.
Yeah, right on. Well, I know we'll certainly be. I'm not going to GDC in San Francisco. I'm going to stay in.
After your incident at the last show, we really couldn't let you.
I don't know what you're talking about. I deleted that stuff from Twitter almost right away. I think it was out there for maybe an hour. So we're going to be here at home putting up all the headlines and stuff that you guys get, and it should be very exciting. So, and there's no booth, right? It's just a closed door demo.
Right. Yeah, we have a room. It's kind of on the outskirts of the show floor, so you'll probably be able to see us, or you might see me being shuffled away for an interview or something like that. But for the most part, we don't have any kind of walk-up area.
Right. Okay. Cool. So if you're press and listening to this, you should contact. I'm doing the shill thing. You should contact PR@nmass.com, and they'll set you up with an interview. That's great. Did you want to maybe just tease a little bit of the demo, like what people are going to see, or what should they expect?
Ooh. So we're going to be showing off one of the first instance dungeons in Terra, and one of the, not the final boss, but one of the mid bosses throughout. But it's still pretty freaking huge, and it's it's pretty fun. It's got a lot of lava, a lot of rocks, and a lot of action.
Nice.
So we're pretty excited to see the press get in there and see if they actually can defeat him, because he's not necessarily easy. I think that's one thing about Terra that a lot of people are realizing. It's not getting up there and pressing those buttons. You've got to move, you got to have skill, and it's been interesting talking to developers. That's one of the things that they've noticed the most in their launch version in Korea is how much the skilled players can set themselves apart, and they've had to. It's hard to balance for that, right? Because when somebody's just that much better than someone else, like what do you do? Like.
Right.
Ideally, you say, well, that person just needs to get better, right?
Sure, yeah.
So that's a really cool part. So we'll see how the demo rolls with the press. I'm sure some press will be better than others, but in the end, it's fun to watch their skill level versus what's necessary in Terra.
Right. Are you planning on having controllers there for press who want to play with controllers? All keyboard and mouse, huh?
Yeah, this will be a keyboard and mouse event. We have the controller implementation, but. There's one bug, and you'll actually see it in our community event, that just, to me, it makes it a little bit hard to play. Our marketing director, he played all the way up to, I believe, level 35 with a controller, and the one bug, he was able to get past it, but we didn't want people to experience that.
Yeah. Well, that's understandable.
It's part of a development cycle, right? You're going to have bugs, and some things are going to make it for certain events and some aren't. But come CBT time, when we start rolling to our closed beta test, you'll be able to play full-on controller.
Cool. Well, I have to admit, for the community play diary that we just launched, I'm doing my playthrough with a controller. So
you are?
I haven't hit any bugs yet, but I'm playing a berserker, so I'm not going to do a lot of.
We'll give you the workarounds, the QA report.
Nice. Okay. Excellent. So I guess you mentioned I wanted to ask about this. You mentioned maybe whether the press will actually be able to defeat the monster. Are you going to do a scoreboard like you've done at the last shows?
That was a little bit demoralizing, we think, for some of the press when they came in. So everyone likes to win, so we're going to do our best to win.
Okay, so what you're saying is everyone's going to be a winner.
Well, yeah. I mean,
all right.
For this event, probably, but there's still a very big chance of failure.
Okay, well that's I guess it wouldn't be fun if there wasn't at least a little bit of a chance of failure. Yeah. So, right on. So we already talked about our community play diary, and it has on our little sheet that I'm supposed to be plugging that. So there we go. There's our second plug. You should check out the community play diary we just launched on terraonline.com. So we wanted to also have a section of the podcast moving forward where we can answer questions from a mailbag. But since we haven't had a mailbag, since the podcast hasn't even been announced to the community yet.
That's no excuse.
So what I've done is gone on the forums and looked for an interesting thread. There was one that was started a couple days ago about voice acting in Terra. And I promised my Sean Connery impersonation, which we'll get to later, because the OP actually referenced Sean Connery. And it just so happens.
That you do a really good Sean Connery, or that you just do Sean Connery?
I do Sean Connery.
Okay.
The reviews have been mixed. Some people say good, some people not so much. So I assume when people are laughing, they're laughing with me. And I'll just keep telling myself that. We are definitely going to have voice acting in Terra. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about just completely pie in the sky. Who's our not our dream cast, the console, but our dream cast for who's going to play roles in Terra? If you could have one person, who would it be?
Wow. Well, we got a lot of main characters. I think that I don't know. Everyone always kind of uses the same sort of nerd crowd, like, for voice acting.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it'd be kind of fun to do something a little bit different that doesn't kind of follow that traditional, celebrity path of the same,
right.
5 people that make their rounds. And
so Will Wheaton and Felicia Day. Sorry, guys, but we may have to find somebody else. Ice-T, we're looking at you.
Yes.
See, that would be amazing. Hardcore. Yeah. Terra, very hardcore.
Yeah. We're trying to get Kenny Powers. He's kind of our target.
Perfect.
We think he'd make a great alien.
Yeah, I could see it. No, wait. No, I can't. So, And actually, since you brought up Elian, let me do one last little plug that's not even on the sheet. We relaunched the Elian fiction, Twitter fiction, at Elian_Terra on Twitter. So if you want to follow along with that, it's a reboot of the franchise. We haven't even launched a game yet.
I mean, that's, we're in development, right? So
Exactly.
things change, and you have to adapt. And I think that we had a lot of localization issues with names, and trying to refocus the story so there was a more centralized path. So I think it's a really good change for Terra.
Totally.
And you know what? It means a whole brand new story for people following on Twitter. So it's not really
It's a really good example of how we work internationally, not just with our counterparts in Korea, but with our counterparts in Europe as well. So it's pretty exciting. Yeah, goodness, I think we're pretty much running up against about 15 minutes, maybe?
I don't know. You haven't picked any voice actors out yet. We can talk a little bit more.
Oh shoot, right. My voice acting choices. Well, there's Sean Connery, of course, who would be amazing. But I was gonna fall back on Patrick Stewart, but he did Oblivion. And for like 5 minutes, and then collected his paycheck and left. So Liam Neeson? No, he did Fallout. I'm apparently picking Bethesda actors today. So.
I don't know. We will. There's the Samael character, which is kind of like the evil general bad guy that. Oh, yeah, So it's just like maybe he could be somebody.
Russell Crowe.
He kind of looks a little bit like Burt Reynolds, but it's voice acting, so you can't really pick based on the looks.
Powers Booth. He has a great voice. The guy who played Cy Tolliver in
That
Deadwood,
would be good.
Among others. But yeah,
he does have a strong voice and would be a good, strong general.
Yeah, he's got a really good villainous sort of voice. So yeah, kind of like the James Earl Jones of Westerns.
Right.
So yeah, we could do that. All right. So the casting call's out. Powers Booth. We're going to contact your agent.
Yeah. Well, we share an agent, so I should be able to get in contact real easily.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. Well, wait. Oh, hold on. Did your agent get the check for the podcast? Did they receive that?
Yeah, we'll hold the podcast up if they don't.
Oh, okay. Well, all right, that's fine.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah, note to our legal department. Make sure we have enough funds for that check to go through. Thank you. Well, that about wraps it up for our very first podcast. We would love for you guys to send feedback and your questions for next week's mailbag.
Yeah, questions are topics of discussion, right? It doesn't have to be a specific question, but if you guys want to know our thoughts on, I don't know, politics, then Jason will talk for probably hours on end.
Yeah, so. I can tell. Listen, I can tell you all about the situation in Wisconsin. Oh, did you mean in Terra? I'm sorry.
Well, actually, I didn't mean other politics.
Yeah. Well, it's
hey, we all have our passion. You want to talk about Texas football? I'll talk for 14 hours.
There we are. Well, so next time our topics are going to be Wisconsin politics and Texas football, or whatever else you guys want to have us talk about. Just email us at community@nmass.com. Let us know how we did. Let us know if my voice is too nasally. Let us know what you want to hear about, or if you have questions you want us to answer next time.
Yeah, or any other segments you guys want to see as well. We're pretty open on this one, and we hope to do a couple different ones.
All right, outstanding. Thanks, and good night, Tara.
Yep, have a good one.